Okay, hello everybody. One quick thing, we're going to pass around this box in the audience. It holds like paper snippets, and I would please ask everyone who gets the box in his hands to take out one of these pieces of paper and keep them for later on. Thanks. We're gonna resolve what this is about in a bit. So, yes, my name is Daniel Schmidt, this is Julian Assange. We're here to make a short presentation about the WikiLeaks project. We have three major sections that we would want to talk about. We assume that most people have heard about what we're doing by now, so we don't want to focus too much on all the stuff that has happened, but rather talk a bit about what will happen in the future. So after a short introduction, we'll be talking about the next generation and some other things that are important. For those of you who have not been too familiar with our work yet, we are a platform that is, as we have been introduced, that is disclosing information that is in the interest of the general public, no matter if this information was supposed to be disclosed or not. We accept classified or restricted material only, or material that is otherwise legally threatened in its publication. We have an anonymous safe harbor, so we accept these documents anonymously. We have very strong mechanisms to protect the sources that we have, and we provide mechanisms by which we can provide these documents on an uncensorable way. So we are making sure that everyone gets access, no matter who is trying to suppress the material. We're doing this for various reasons. These are all documents that we publish, and all of these documents are part of all our historic record. So this might sound a bit abstract, as we're all not historians, but we believe that our historic record is the only guidebook that we have. So the only way how we can determine what a certain development for the future will bring is by looking at our history. So it is very, very important, and we hope we can all agree on that, to preserve our historic record as detailed and as accurate as possible, especially in those cases where people are trying to suppress detail. According to the National, which is something that we are kind of proud, it's one of the last quotes we had, so the National has said that we have produced more scoops in our short existence than the Washington Post in the last 30 years. Thanks. We're just at the beginning though, so we're just getting warm. That's partly of what we're going to talk about. Do you want to give a short overview of the stuff we had so far?
So when we were putting this together, Daniel and I, earlier today, we were like, okay, what have we done? Okay, we've done this and this and this and this year, compared to Congress last year where we spoke. But then I looked at Daniel and said, actually, that's just what we've done in the past 2 months. What actually have we done in the rest of the year? God, I don't know, my head's so full of stuff. So we'll look on Wikipedia, and well,
not the German version though,
not
just
the German
to have
version.
that as bad as it is, but we have these disputes about content that is relevant or not as well, which is really a shame for any kind of encyclopedia.
Yes. Actually, well, I'll get on to that.
Okay, well, I just wanted to have that said.
So we don't want to rest on our laurels, of course, and I think we have about 1,000 times more work to do than what we have done, literally. However, there is just too much to talk about if we go for the whole year. And so really we are just going to speak about what's been happening in the last few months, and hope you, if you're more interested, you can look at some other things that have happened earlier in the year, but it's all similar material. So something that happened, maybe some of you have heard about, is this Trafigura incident. So Trafigura is a multinational commodities trader. It's the third largest in the world, approximately. It's very hard to find out with these companies, actually, because they diversify their asset holdings through whole lots of front companies all over the world, so it's hard to know. Anyway, it claims it's about one of the third largest. It dumped in 2006 toxic waste sludge from a very cheap oil refining process that it did on board a ship in the Ivory Coast. Now, it tried to send that into Amsterdam and was not able to. Amsterdam said that it would take about 864 euros per metric ton to process. So instead they thought, okay, we'll set up, I have to be careful about this, a company was set up in the Ivory Coast shortly after that to take this toxic waste sludge, and it was dumped around towns in the Ivory Coast, and according to a UN report from September, drove 108,000 people into hospital. You have the next book?
Yes. Yeah, so this is kind of a stereotype of exploitation that we have exposed, and the worst thing about it is that it's going on and on and on. So these people are filing lawsuits against all newspapers in the UK, and they're trying to suppress anything that comes to light about all these people that got sick in the Ivory Coast. So
yeah, this was front page of The Guardian a couple of times, and UK Parliament itself was in the process of being censored by Trafigura. The Guardian couldn't report this. We ended up having to get an MP in the British Parliament to read out the WikiLeaks URL of the secret report, including the colons and slashes and everything, to get it into the public record. That did get into the public record, but and was quite well known for a period a month ago. But it's going on. So just 2 weeks ago, the BBC removed its investigative report, both the MP3 recording from BBC World Service and Newsnight, and their article. The Times has removed its content. The London Independent has removed its content. So this doesn't stop. There has been no entire victory of speech in the UK, but we still have the material.
We're trying to mirror everything that gets removed from some other place. So. Yes, another thing, most of the Germans here might be more familiar with this. We published a large quantity of the toll collect contracts. So this is a billing system for heavy vehicles driving on the German autobahns. It's a secret contract between a consortium operating this and the German government. We got a hold of 10,000 of around 17,000 pages in total. We published this. We are still waiting for the other 7,000 to turn up. Whoever is standing in a bad light after the first 10,000 might have an interest to set the record straight. Also, just to make that a public record, we would like to ask the German government to come up with counterproof. There have been a lot of claims in the news media here in Germany saying that the numbers that were published, the investigation that was done on these 10,000 pages is wrong, that the Stern magazine, for example, published a wrong analysis of it, wrong numbers. We are still waiting for counterproof. So we're not taking up some shallow statements. I guess the only way that we can have a factual discussion is by disclosing this contract completely. So before that, I guess it's all speculation and we just don't have to listen. Yes, another second one, pretty popular in Germany, hopefully, because that is a very important topic, is the Kunduz report, the Feldjäger report, so to say. It's a report done by the German military, 40 pages long. It's classified. It was done as an investigation, or part of an investigation into a bombing incident in Afghanistan, in Kunduz, a bombing incident that was ordered by German military. So it is German military that is responsible for the carrying out of a bombing where civilians have died. From how much I understand German law, this is not in harmony with our constitution. That is something, it's a real problem. It's the story of a country that is in a military peace mission. And everyone in Germany, all the politicians, newspapers have discussed this at length, are avoiding to talk about the fact that we are in a war. They are saying it's just a peace mission. But this is the first time that we have proof that on order of German military, civilians have died. So we are actively in combat in Afghanistan, and it's about time